Alright. Oh, we can do another one, thank fuck. Okay, so I'm gonna meet with Hope. Because I want to try and finish up her quest line before we run out of time. Her master's voice. Cara wants to meet. Hope decides you should see her alone with an ace up your sleeve. When you reach the cafe, you're welcomed by the familiar face of the waiter who first led you inside. You exchange looks and nods. He hides his vape pen in a black pocket. She's been expecting you. Something happened to her car, and she hasn't exactly left her room ever since. He scratches his head, shrugs, and gestures at you to follow him. It's the same route as before, first beyond the locked door, and at the end of the room with all the computers, then into an endless gray labyrinth. Finally, you reach a door that would look like any other to a random bystander. Of course, you know now that Hope's haven lies beyond it. The waiter bids you adieu. Adieu. It sounds a little like a chew. With an exaggerated bow, and starts walking back to the cafe. You enter the familiar room. Jesus, Faye. I can read, I promise. It's just, I don't know why this happens whenever I try and read out loud. You enter the familiar room. This time the lights are still on inside. You know what? That's what the sentence says now. I don't care. I'm making it up. Hope is inside, walking around nervously, overstating every screen in sight. When she spots you, she wastes no time on introductions. Well, overseeing every screen in sight, sorry. I am not okay at all. Cara Montgomery, what do you know of her? Not a lot. No, I'm not okay at all. You could have seen her in listicles such as top 5 badass women in tech 2018, 12 CEOs who spark innovation through empathy, or 20 entrepreneurs with mysterious ties to Jeffrey Epstein. You don't get to voice your answer. The question was just a minor courtesy. She has a monologue to deliver, and she won't allow any interruption. Go off, girl. 20 years ago, she was a failed dot-com investor. Now she's CEO of Double Spiral, a brand management startup, working at the crossroads of big data and influencer culture. Quotation marks are audible, dripping with venom. Sorry, I should have made the quotation marks more audible. Long story short, she spent years convincing her Camarilla contacts, as in out-of-touch old farts angry about smartphones, that Kindred can benefit from controlling the internet. Her IT ghouls have done a lot of research on deepfakes, AI, machine learning. Her goal is the ability to generate thousands of believably human online accounts. Basically an army of posters that could brute force anything into the mainstream discourse. The elders took a while to get the concept, but eventually Cara got their blessing. The thing is, she claims her tech is ready to be tested, but she needs one final component to work properly, and that's why... She pauses. She proposed a truce. Fuck her. Or what truce? What truce? Truce? What kind of truce? At Malk David Chapman. The become my friend or face a violent death kind of truce. Not exactly fucking convincing, if you ask me. But no matter how much I hate her guts, this is a blessing in disguise. Hear me out. She picked a public place in Manhattan, neutral ground where we can meet without the fear that the other party might do something stupid and violate the Masquerade. She wants to just talk. You will go there in my place and listen to her terms. We won't accept them, of course, especially not after she just tried to kill us. You will just steal her voice and walk away. Steal her voice? What next? Will you trade her mermaid tail for legs? A Disney joke? Sweet. What next? Will you hit me with the topical Harry Potter reference? At context collapsed. I'm not trying to be obtuse here. Wait a second, let me explain my plan. At revenge plotter. You see, there's only one way to get to even the odds. We have to hit Cara where it hurts. She's only got one weak point. I wanted to say spot and point at the same time, and it went spoint, sorry. 1 weak point, double spiral headquarters. Cara is the only person there with access to every room. The security is something she came up with herself, voice-based, but using a different password phrase every time. That means just recording her talking is not enough if we want to get in. That's why I started selling illicit materials to people with access to advanced deepfake audio technology. I've got it right in this room, and now all I need is a sample base that will allow me to manufacture a bot that talks like her. To modern data, I need to stay behind. Still, I think the plan is pretty simple. You talk to her while wearing a wire, I process the recordings here to steal her voice, and voila, she's wide open. Then we invade Double Spiral and destroy it from within. The evil is defeated. I become part of your crew. Happy ending for everybody. How does that sound to you? Will she even talk to me? She wanted to talk to you. Why would she talk to me? Yeah, she's too stuck up to talk to a total rando, but given an opportunity to get Sophie Langley's right hand on her side, she won't pass it by. And even if you weren't a minor celebrity in this city, I'm sure our connection would have been enough to hear you out. Hope shakes her head and claps her hands. When she speaks up, she sounds different, more spaced out, stuttering. Anti-social engineering. Alright, let me fix you up with the hardware. She hands you a minuscule earpiece and starts attaching a small decorative pin to your clothes, along with some masked wiring. It's a directional microphone. I can clean up the audio later, but keep it pointed directly at Cara as much as possible, alright? You put on the earpiece she gave you. It fits snugly deep inside your right ear. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The hardware works flawlessly, and the audio quality seems great. You give Hope an affirmative sign with your head. At Revenge Plotter. Beautiful. Cara designed the meeting place as the vessel. You heard about the place, right? It's right by the eastern end of Lincoln Tunnel. A giant pile of staircases, basically impossible to miss. Manhattan's answer to the Eiffel Tower, or a gaudy monument to being only ever so slightly free, depending on who you ask. I'd drive you there, but my car is still in the shop, and I don't want to risk being spotted by Cara's people. And I need to process the voice data from here. Which means I have a perfectly acceptable number of excuses for not letting myself get anywhere close to that demonic old hag. You involuntarily roll your eyes a little bit. Hope sits in front of her screens, pretending not to have noticed. So, should we get the show on the road or what? Ready whenever you are. No sense lingering here. You get back to the street and find your car. Wrapping up the show as quickly as possible sounds like a good idea. Around 30 minutes later, you are in front of the vessel. Hope's description, a giant pile of staircases, wasn't particularly helpful. From the distance, this building looks more like a giant honeycomb, designed to swarm with tourist bees. At least during the day, that is. At the moment, the place is closed to the general public. Few men who look vaguely threatening and out of place are making sure nobody unwanted gets in. However, you have no problem getting up the stairs. All it takes is an exchange of knowing glances with one of the guards. You are expected. A lone figure appears in your sight, staring down at the streets of Manhattan. What voice was I doing for Cara? You know, city people often complain about being unable to see the starry skies. I always thought the real tragedy was how they're unable to appreciate the man-made sea of lights that surrounds them. You can teach people a lot of things, but you can't teach them to see, huh? You recognize the face from Hope's phone. Finally, you meet Cara Montgomery in the flesh. She turns to you, puts on a wide smile, and shakes your hand with a firm grip. First a representative of Sophie Langley, now a representative of Hope. Not the way I developed my own career, but I gotta say, not many neonites get around the way you do. At contents under pressure. Hardy fucking har. Hope speaks up in your ear for the first time, seething with contempt. Although Cara couldn't possibly have heard her, she immediately goes on to address her absence. Can't say I expected her to actually arrive here, with you or instead of you. On the other hand, I'm sure every single word I say will be instantly relayed to her. At Chinese Democrat. And for the first time in forever, your empty blabbering will serve an actually useful cause. So, let me make sure we cut out everyone but the middleman for a while, okay? She takes out her phone and taps the touchscreen. In a few seconds, the barely perceptible buzzing in your ear disappears completely. You can't hear Hope anymore. It's probable she can't hear your voice right now either, which would mean she must be busy raging and cursing out everything in her sight at the moment. That obviously wasn't something she expected to happen. Could it be that Cara saw through your plan? You have to play it cool and see what happens next. Knowing Hope, you've probably heard whatever scraps can be Googled about me, and a pile of insults for good measure. Obviously, I know everything there's to be known about you as well, Ash. I don't believe we have a need for formal introductions, but first off, let me apologize for the discomfort my former employee has caused you. I wasn't remotely aware of his planned actions against Hope, and I fully condemn them. I'm glad to see you unharmed, and, of course, applaud your swift disposal of the psycho. Langley chose you well. Brief silence. So let me cut to the chase here and present myself the best way I know how, through my ideas. Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? Not much for small talk, is she? Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? Corporations we do or the state? Well, it's a matter of perspective, I suppose. You could say the state, or you could say corporations. They're kind of working together. The state does. That's a very typical answer, very 20th century sounding, but it leads straight into my point. What do you mean by that, very 20th century sounding? She's saying I sound like a communist? Because, fair point, I am. She signals to someone behind you. For a while, you've been watched by Cara's men who circle around the staircases, presumably her ghouls. One of them sets off downstairs. A socialist state, please. Yeah, like, I wasn't talking about, like, who has the monopoly on, who I think should have the monopoly on reality. Reality is, like, but ultimately I believe in a stateless classless society, Cara. Yeah, me too. I wasn't saying, like, who I think should, like, have the monopoly on reality. I was saying, like, who I think right now has the monopoly on reality in terms of, like, who manufactures, like, what the public believes. I mean, it's a process of, like, the government and then the news and, like, you know, like, manufacturing consent and all that, and, like, what people believe. Like, it comes through Western media, and it also comes through, like, advertising and, yeah, all that stuff. It's complicated, but don't worry, I was talking to her, not you. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure how to interpret that at first, but yeah, I get you. But yeah, power to the people and all that stuff. You know, Bolivia, is that how you pronounce that? Sure, Bolivia just had a military coup. Hundreds of new accounts posting about nothing but Bolivian politics in English, set out to convince every random person online that the US wasn't to blame. Interesting. Sloppy work, if you ask me. Now imagine this, a 17-year-old K-pop fan from Ohio writing an entire thread about how her relatives in La Paz are actually glad the president is gone. I don't have context for any of this, but a film reviewer with a side interest in politics selling you a CIA-approved narrative about Evo Morales, an approachable fitness guy explaining the situation to you in simple terms, just like it is. Okay, where exactly is she going with this? animated voice, expressive gestures, and steady eye contact, she's taught herself how to project a good image, but isn't a natural yet. At times, it feels like she's screaming at you to trust her. Yeah, she's selling you a line, like she's pitching something to you, like corporate style. It's not hard to emulate the masses. Reach out to one of those Eastern European troll farms and bang. A few hours later, you'll have a clone army that will instantly voice their support for any cause. Oh, so she's saying, like, yeah, the internet can be used to manipulate people and, like, drum up, like, what seems like public support for a certain idea or a certain leader or a certain cause when, like, it's actually just like manufactured. Yeah. You will spread your message, but you won't foster a new culture that serves your goals, won't masquerade your messaging as independent thought. Well, can't we just have independent thought? Why are we having to masquerade our messaging as independent thought? I don't know if I like where this is going. For that, you need personalities, not the masses. So confused about her politics. Yeah, glad it's not just me, because I was like, am I just stupid? Or like, because I don't understand where this is going, but like, maybe we'll see. I'm not totally plugged in, so I'm only catching parts, which might be part of the problem. I mean, I'm confused too, so it might not just be you, but the ability to emulate personalities, a whole different ballgame. Not a craft, but an art. You need to understand your fabrication so deeply that you start to hate it and then learn to love it. And if you want to make a bunch of those personalities follow one agenda, you need a once-in-a-lifetime team to achieve that, a like-minded artistic collective, both ambitious and obedient. Even though you can't hear Hope's voice in your ear right now, you could swear you hear her in Cara's speech. It's the exact same tone she was using when monologuing in the car. One of them must have been a big influence on the other, or perhaps they used to be in a position where they both shaped each other's personas. Hard to say. Only one thing is for sure. And that is, Hope must be absolutely furious right now. Is it possible that Cara knew about her plot? Fingers crossed that she doesn't. So yeah, I think she wants to, like, use the internet for control, but to control what exactly? And to what end? Like, to, like, unleash, like, vampire propaganda? But that's a breach of the Masquerade. So, like, yeah, it's hard to say. She's trying to, like, manipulate people to her advantage, possibly to make a profit, but how exactly is the question. Like, I don't know if it's just because I find this stuff confusing, or I find people like this confusing, or I'm just like, or if she's just confusing, but like, what is she, the CIA for vampires? Yeah, literally. Like, what the hell? The state is satisfied when an account that went unused for 5 years suddenly starts yelling imperialist propaganda into the void. The aging corporations are too set in their ways. But imagine a fresh startup that enables the proliferation of ideas adjacent to the prince's plans for the future. Ah, okay, here we go. Here we go. We've arrived at the plot, I think. We've arrived at the plan. I think I figured it out. We're trying to brainwash people towards, like, the prince's, to align with the prince's goals or plans for the future, whatever they are, somehow without breaking the masquerade. Now imagine it getting into bed with the biggest corporations and agencies. So many unlives that could be improved or even saved from the raids of First Light. I have the infrastructure. I have the elder support. All I need now is a mastermind at the center of it all. The mastermind? You mean Hope? You mean... Yes, Hope. She looks down and takes in the scenery below for a while. Then she points at her t-shirt, the one piece of clothing that clashes with the rest of her outfit. You know, I'm a huge fan of punk. The leading idea of my company, Double Spiral, is to make everything I do a little bit punk. I'm all about clashing ideas. I'm all about disruption. I don't even know where to start with that, lady. You blink a few times in quick succession. Oh God, you think to yourself, she's that kind of person. You saw them a lot in your old life. Another rich idiot who thinks deals are an art form, too. Hell-bent on perverting the meaning of any piece of actual art that hasn't been thoroughly ruined by the art-hating dystopia that surrounds you. I mean, I was thinking more like she thinks punk is an aesthetic, or like, you know, rather than like an actual like movement. But yeah, you collect yourself and escape from memory lane. Cara started talking about hope, so you better listen. Yeah. Like the fact that you're the CEO of a corporation and you're talking about punk and like making your company punk in and of itself, like we've already arrived at problem number one. To me, hope is as punk as it gets. A free spirit, fiercely independent and eternal contrarian at odds with everything and everyone, developing her talents just because she finds it joyful. Well, not that I'm an expert on punk, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's what punk is about. It's not just about being a free spirit or a contrarian or like at odds with everyone and everything. It's about like opposing the people in power, opposing the state, opposing like the mainstream like capitalist like status quo because it is inherently like harmful. But I guess everyone has their own take on punk. Where are we? But God, does this girl need guidance? Not putting her talents to better use, rotting away, posting inane bullshit all the time? What a waste. I have built an environment specifically to develop her talents and let her become indispensable to our society, but she rejects it because of some idiotic hang-ups. I mean, this is giving me bad vibes also. Like, Hope, she's Malkavian, and she's unique. That's a part of what makes her who she is. I think changing her and trying to shape her or mold her into what you want her to be for the sake of profit or like success or like making progress, whatever you think progress is highly suspect. I don't expect you to change your mind about me just because I kept yapping and yapping. I just hope you'll keep my perspective in mind and serve as the voice of reason hope really needs right now. Now that I've had my say, how about we put our girl back on? She taps her phone again. A quiet buzz reappears in your right ear. Cara, you're bluffing. She's probably not bluffing. Maybe I just shouldn't say anything. 5 extremely long seconds of radio silence. Investigate double spiral now. I'm here, keep talking. Don't worry, she should have heard everything. I just wanted to spare you an annoying commentary track while I introduce myself. Excuse me for a second. One of Cara's guards approaches to show her something on his phone. Hope uses the distraction to get you up to speed with how things are on her side. At Hate America beat. Yeah, for a second there I was about to rage that the hag has gotten the better of us, but hey, go figure. She just wanted to take a piss of my Cheerios. The plan worked. I have a lot of data from her monologuing and some private sources, but the more we gather, the better. The display here says some more K letters could be useful. So, don't beat yourself up about it if you fail, but if you get her to repeat something with K in it, that might improve our deepfake voice. Looks like Cara's done talking to the guard. Sorry about that. Looks like I've got to attend a sudden meeting with a Google representative shortly. Hope snorts. Not bragging, though. By the way, does anyone but Hope know about this little rendezvous? Your patron, any other companion, or maybe the Nosferatu? Oh, I don't know. Is there... Okay, there isn't a K in Sophie's name, right? Is there K in Sophie's last name? I don't remember. No, Sophie Langley. Yeah, she doesn't have a K in her name. Okay. Nosferatu, if we're talking about D'Angelo, no. That's no Ks. But we could try and get her to mention Kaiser, but we're not really... I don't think she was talking about him. I don't know how to make her say a word with K in it. Nobody. It's just us. Should I have told anyone? Maybe. Maybe not. It just says a lot about your personality, that's all. Anyway, no offense, but since Hope's not here, I really have to rush. Honestly, I feel a little insulted that she set up this meeting and didn't even bother to show up. Insulted and suspicious, her tone of voice betrays her. She might have some good instincts. Too bad she didn't trust them here. Unfortunately, no K's in that sentence. Oh, the word talk does have a K in it. Still, out of respect for Langley, I decided to have this talk with you to explain why I'm an asset to the Camarilla, and to explain why the elders need Hope by my side. Investigate double spiral now. What the worm-brained hag forgot to mention is that the elders don't give a shit about me. Even if you don't see it my way now, I believe I've sown some seeds here that might sprout in the near future. Double spiral looks out for people who look out for it, is all I'm saying. But before I leave, there's one thing I really wish I knew. Back when I knew her, she was a different person. Or different people, depending on how you look at it. Why does she fight against me so much? What's her motivation to resist so much? What's her motivation? Good question. She's never shared it with you. Well, I mean, the way Hope talks it up, like, you did try and kill us. At VVVVVVV. Answer whatever you want, but A, you better lie through your teeth. B, get her to say V a few times if you can. It might improve a few shortcomings of our deepfake software. What's your answer? Survival? Okay, I don't think it's, I think she might have mentioned payback at one point, so you probably shouldn't mention that. Survival and love both have V's in them, but love is a lot less convincing, I feel. I don't know. Let's say survival. Survival. Cara snorts. Spare me. If she just wanted to keep pulling through, she'd have a much better chance by my side. Pride or spite would be a far more believable as an answer. Should have just told me you either don't know or don't trust me. At VVVVV. Survival. V times 2. Good attempt, at least. One of Cara's people erupts with a theatrical cough. Cara gestures at him to calm down. I really need to go now. See you around, Ash. She begins to walk down the stairs, surrounded by her guards. When she's gone from before your eyes, Hope decides to summarize her mission. Oh well. At Tradkoth thought, for the love of Christ, wish you could have kept her droning on for a little longer. Turns out the T letter could use some improvement as well. Not complaining though, you did good. And don't worry, the data I have should be more than enough to generate a convincing deepfake. I just need to put in some more work. So I guess I'll get to that right away. Enjoy the rest of your night. Drop my hardware at your haven when you get a chance. And the background looks like cyberpunk. Yeah, it kind of does a bit. I'll let you know when we're ready to hit Cara's base of operations. Pray for my success, sweetie. And I might be done soon. Maybe even tomorrow. And once we're done with her, we'll talk about how I can repay your generosity. Amen. Connection drops. It looks like that's all for now. You gaze at the sea of lights around you for the last time, and then start making your way back to street level. Alright. It looks like I have to rest. Can't meet with D'Angelo, can't meet with the reporter. Yeah, I need rest. Alright, fine, rest. Alright. I can meet with Hope again. I think that's the final mission, double spiral, but I also want to meet with D'Angelo. Alright, hang on, just let me check. I want to see how many nights D'Angelo's quest takes. It's not telling me. Great. Alright, I guess we'll just have to guess then. Fine. I wonder if, how long meeting with the reporter is gonna take. I could try meeting with the reporter, but I don't know if it's going to take up an entire night. Because I think we're already on like night 10 or maybe night 11. Alright, let's see if this works out in my favor. The streetlights filter into the apartment in a stark white glow as if someone were shooting a movie outside. The art pieces display a tasteful expense entirely fitting the image you have of Sophie. It feels as if 1,000 sins have been committed on these premises, most of them under her benevolent hospitality. Sophie comes to greet you as you enter the living room, shaking her head. You understand that people judge me based on how you dress, don't you? Sophie looks at your clothes as if resigned to your sartorial limitations. Rude. I have tried to dress inconspicuously because of the masquerade. That's very sensible of you. I suppose I should commend you for that. Sophie walks to the window and looks out, the streetlights playing on her features. She reminds you of a queen contemplating the unfortunate limitations of her subjects. You'd think that as a vampire, at least we wouldn't have to worry about the vultures of the press. Unfortunately, when you have power and ability, there are always parasites trying to feed on you. Is the reporter after you? Yes, a terribly persistent creature. Sophie steps away from the window and settles down on a sofa, a wine glass with red liquid in it, blood treated as not to spoil. You've become good at noticing the scent, even from a distance. She doesn't offer you any, as you casually sit down across from her. This awful man has been stalking my apartment with the camera. He's gone through my trash, talked to the neighbors. Please be a dear and explain to him that there's nothing for him here. Is this about the masquerade or Auspex? You're enjoying this. I feel like that might be kind of risky. Whatever. Let's be risky. Why not? You're enjoying this, aren't you? I can see it in your face. Nonsense. Some rancid beast is stalking me, that's all. It's just that the secrecy of the masquerade is a bore sometimes. A necessary bore, but a bore nonetheless. Isn't this dangerous? For all kindred? Of course it is, if we don't make it go away. Do you know anything about the reporter? Man, woman, young, old, anything like that? All gossip reporters look the same to me. Time for you to go. I have business to attend to. You leave the apartment as Sophie disappears into another room. You don't have a clear idea of the game she plays with the city's mortal and immortal power structures, but she always seems to be making a move. Outside on the street, there's a slight warm drizzle, the kind that gets under your clothes and makes you want to take a shower when you get back to your own haven. No reporters immediately jump out at you. Prospects, these enhanced senses. New York smells of people, thousands and thousands of them packed together. It takes a moment for you to get to grips with the full panoply of sensation, but once you do, there's one that sticks out. Cheap aftershave, the strong imprint of someone who has hung around the building a lot. Strong enough to persist despite the light rain. Stale cigarette smoke, sweat. You follow your hunch, and as you walk closer, you reflect on how sometimes being kindred makes things so easy. You enter an alley, a dark, dingy space between two tall buildings. Once upon a time, a place like this might have worried you, made you think of muggings and violence. Now it's clear that the most dangerous thing here is you. The man you're following seems to realize this too. He holds his camera in front of him like a shield, its heavy objective resting on his paunch. With a start, you recognize him. You remember the face, The shaded sunglasses from a picture next to a byline and some trashy paper. The article was about a friend of yours, an artist who was reported to be dating a celebrity. It was true, but the celebrity didn't want to be associated with your friend and broke it off afterwards. For months, your friend cursed Doherty's name. Doherty's name. Hey, don't go around scaring people like that. What the that was like 3 different accents all at once, Faye. What the fuck was that? Don't go around scaring people like that. I recognize you. I'm a huge fan, or welcome to Knuckletown. So we can just go around, like... So we can just immediately go into it, like, violence. But I worry that that might seem suspicious and might make him, like, clamp down. I do kind of want to just, like, go in with violence. Alright, let's see how this goes. Welcome to Knuckletown, fat man. Let's make this fun for at least one of us. Jesus. Whoa, whoa. I'm a reporter. A lot of scoops here in this dirty alley. You can't be a journalist if you're not willing to get your hands dirty. Do you live here? I'm working on a story about a local resident. Her name is Sophie Langley. Everybody knows her in the high society circles. From the way you look, I'm guessing you might know her too. She's a redhead, pretty as a picture. I feel like I should be doing a New Yorker accent for this guy, but like, I can't do it. She's a redhead, pretty as a picture. And there were lots of pictures of her through the years. That's the thing. In fact, look at this. Frank pulls out his phone and starts showing you pictures. Some have been downloaded from news sites, while others are photos from the society pages of newspapers of past decades. All show Sophie. She has different clothes, hairstyles, makeup, names, but the face remains the same. Oh, I'd love to do a bad accent. Well, like, there's a bad accent, and then there's, like, I can't even get it sounding even remotely in the, like, range of, like, what it's supposed to sound like. Like, I'm walking here. I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Can't even do that. That's strange. So what do you think is going on? They're all hot, and then I'm not sure. So you're a stalker of some sort? We could try gaslighting him, or threatening him, or... Won't you know, babe, that's Southern. You tried. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. Every time I try and do an accent, it always inevitably ends up, like, slanting towards Southern. I don't know what that says about me. Never stepped foot in the South of the United States once, and I think it shows based on how crappy my Southern accent is, but, like, it is the only one I can reasonably even kind of do. Alright. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. They're all hot. Other than that, I'm not sure. Come on, look at the face. It's always the same. This must be important. You must have a theory about what's happening, so why does this matter? So, why does this matter? Maybe it doesn't. But people are always interested in staying young. 3 words, extreme plastic surgery. All the celebrities do it. Only her doctor is better than the rest. You look critically at the photos on Frank's phone. You're looking for a doctor in an alley? You're thinking the world's best plastic surgeon is working out of this alley? Okay, fine. I don't know what this is about. So how would you explain it? It's a hoax, ancient medicines. I know Sophie personally. If we say I know Sophie personally, then I feel like that might lead us down a bad road. But also saying it's a hoax might lead him to want to investigate more. I don't know. And ancient medicines, I feel like, might also lead him to want to investigate more, and it might lead him too close to the truth. Alright. We're gonna cross our fingers again and hope that this works out. I think all the times I've done that, it actually has worked out. I don't really, like, believe in that stuff, but, like, I don't not believe in it. It's this weird, like, catch-22 situation where it's, like, sometimes I, like, lean into it when I'm, like, really nervous about something working out, but, like, I don't, like, put, like, all of my faith in it. It's like Schrodinger's spiritual belief or whatever. It is both true and not true. It both works and doesn't work. I both believe and don't. I know Sophie personally. You got to understand that I know Sophie pretty well. We move in the same circles. So what can you tell me about her? I don't even know what I'm doing. I feel like part of it is because I can't really hear myself that well because I've got my headphones in. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. I feel like I did like a decently not terrible Boston accent back when I was voicing Night in the Woods for that one pretzel stand owner. When I was like, yeah, go jump in the river. Nope, that's not it. Go jump in the river. That's not it either. Never mind, I've lost it. I can't do it anymore. You know the one I'm talking about. No respect this one. Oh, pal. It's okay, go on, make fun of me. It's fine. You can make fun of me. I deserve it. I deserve it. My vocal cords do not cooperate with me. What can I say? I can barely make what I'm trying to say normally sound coherent. Go on, do Boston. Was that Boston? I didn't even realize. Okay, she's a society princess. She has a tragic family background. Okay, well, none of this is leading us in a good direction. I just want it to lead us in the we're threatening this man with violence direction, or possibly using our powers on him. But that's not what I'm getting. See, all of this is just going to make him want to investigate her more. I don't know. Maybe she's a society princess. I can be like, see, you can't report on her because, like, she's, like... If we're using princess, like, actually to mean royalty, we can be like, she's actually legit royalty, so you need to back off or else you're gonna, like, be in big trouble. I don't know. She's a society princess. Shit. That was not what I was intending. Shit. Well... She's very entitled, terrible towards service workers, flits from one young, handsome guy to the next, girls too. See, this is what I mean, like, it's not always, like, clear what we're gonna say based on the dialogue descriptions. I didn't know that was gonna be, like, she's a brat and, like, she's an asshole, she's entitled. Like, maybe that was on me, I just didn't interpret that correctly, but whatever. So she's bisexual and an asshole. Who cares? They all are. Why am I low-key doing my germ voice now? Like, how have we somehow slipped into my germ voice? I'm, like, all across the map. I'm not even gonna... This is just where we're at now. Like, sorry. I gotta have something usable. Okay, so threaten Frank with legal action or intimidate Frank with violence. Well, we can't actually sue him because we're vampires and we're dead, and, like, I feel like Sophie doesn't want that hassle. But I worry that, like, threatening him with violence is just gonna make him, like, double down? I don't know. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to sleep. Have fun streaming. Good night, Sarah. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good sleep. Wait a minute. I think you need to, like, make your throat, like, something's in your mouth, if that makes any sense, to do the accent. Like, I'm still stuck on this, sorry. Like, I'm walking here. Yeah, I think that's better. I'm walking here. Or at least the start is fine, but I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Never mind. Alright, you know what? Let's jump to violence. Let's intimidate Frank with violence. Why not? Violence is fun. Violence is what vampires are here for. This is what the vampire game is about, to be violent. Oh boy. The powers of the blood make kindred fearsome killers. Looking at Frank, you decide that you can administer this beatdown without help from your undead nature. That is not what we should be doing. That's not good. This was the wrong moment to develop professional pride. You punch Frank in the mouth. Perhaps the most important thing about your new vampiric existence is getting used to violence. You have to hunt, defend yourself. Frank falls down on one knee. This is not defending yourself. Please don't! You smack Frank across the face. You feel his perspiration sticking to your skin. Blood wells from his mouth and you have a sudden urge to bite down and drink. Do not fucking feed from him. Oh my god. Sophie probably wouldn't appreciate a corpse in an alley next to her home, so you restrain yourself. Thank fuck. Frank is on all fours on the wet ground. You pick up his camera and casually fling it into a wall. The telephoto lens breaks off. Oh my god, please don't. Run your mouth and I'll break the rest of your teeth. Frank staggers upright and runs out of the alley as best as he's able, leaving his ruined camera behind. He looked after his receding figure, wondering if he'll have the courage to return. Yikes, I don't know if we handled that perfectly, but alas, it is what it is. The situation is what it is. We did a thing and now we gotta commit to it. Alright. I don't think the entire night is over, so we can meet with D'Angelo again or Hope again. Or we can meet with random guy who sent us a letter, but I don't know if we have time is the thing. What night are we on? Hard to say. If I pause this... Yeah, no, I think I'd have to save and exit for me to check which night I'm on. I mean, I can probably do that and then just, like, load. Oh, we're on night 11. Shit. Yeah, I think we're getting close, depending on how many nights this game has. Like, some people say 13, and some people say they made it to night 15. It's hard to say, so, like, we're probably gonna have to try and wrap up the D'Angelo and Hope stuff as soon as possible. So we have them on our side when we need them. Alright, so I think we should probably meet with D'Angelo. Strange bedfellows. As you leave your haven, a homeless man bumps into you. You turn after him, but he blends into the crowd before you can even get a good look at his face. Instinctively, you check your pocket. A note? Looking at Manhattan Bridge. Come over, D. Knowing there are only so many places with a good enough view of the Manhattan Bridge, you decide to check the ones that aren't likely to be crowded at this time of night. Doesn't take long before you hit the jackpot. Jackpot? Hello? Jackpot. Jane's Carousel. As you're walking along the pier, you notice a lonely figure sitting on the bench, steel flask in hand, his legs up on the railing. Soon enough, you hear a familiar voice. Evening turned to night, and as the final flickering rays of sunlight gave way to the kind nocturnal shadows, so did the last of the jabbering tourists give way to blessed silence. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling. Pausing mid-sentence, he leans back over the bench backrest and looks straight at you, upside down. His face looks even creepier than usual. That I wasn't alone. What is it with you and narrating? I have to ask, what is it with you and narrating? Takes the edge off. Just like this. He takes a sip and then points to the flask in your general direction. Fancy a sip? Oh, it's blood. Thank God. I was about to be like, no thanks, I'm sober, but I'm not sober from blood because I need blood. Feeding opportunity, D'Angelo's flask. Sure, why not? You take the flask and take a swig. It's blood, all right, mixed with other frivolous substances, some of which you recognize, while others you probably don't want to know. Great. So that there might be some alcohol mixed in. Whoopsie daisies. Oh well. That's the spirit. Now that you're good and soused, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. There's been another one. Killing, I mean. Down by the docks. Same MO? The blood? The graffiti? Yep, it was our gal, alright. Victim sucked dry, same as before. Another sign on the wall. Something about impending doom, and oh lord, he coming. Oh my god. The particulars escape me. You know, the night I saw her, she looked so frail, so innocent. Deep inside, I was hoping she'd be spooked, get out of town, that maybe, just maybe, that would be the end of it. Yeah, why is she killing people? Like, I'm so confused. Like, is she Malkavian and she just, like, she doesn't know what's going on? She's, like, having a psychotic break of some kind, or... Like, what's the deal? What's the dealio? But that's me, you know. Hopelessly optimistic. You know why she's doing it? Any idea why she's doing it? Doesn't really matter at this point. Whether she's Kane's chosen or just a poor girl gone nuts after a botched embrace, one thing's painfully clear. He gives you a look full of worry and sadness. She ain't gonna stop. So yeah, I guess we gotta take her down then. Because that's how we deal with these things, is murder. Oh, I guess it's Kine, not Kane. Hang on. Kine, a mythical figure considered to be the first and most powerful vampire. Some vampires refer to themselves as Canites, members of the race of Kine. Okay, if it's Canites and then Kine, because I remember that's how they say it in Bloodlines. Whatever, it's fine. He takes a swig as if to punctuate the sentence. So anyway, I've set up a meeting. Neutral ground, public space, shouldn't get too ugly. Still, I was hoping you could tag along. But I keep going southern. No matter what, I just keep going southern. It's ridiculous. What is going on here? I was hoping you could tag along. Who are we meeting? Okay, so who are we meeting? He takes another compulsive swig. Better strap in, because this one's a doozy. Am I meeting your parents? Just fucking tell me. It can't be that bad. Am I meeting... Unless you want to introduce me to your parents, I can probably handle it. Come on, who is it? Valarie. I mean, I don't know if we should insult her. That blood must be an amazing vintage, because you sound fucking hammered. Hardy fucking har. Look, I know you two didn't exactly hit it off, but she's not as bad as you might think. I mean, in some respects, she's probably worse, but she can be reasoned with. Once again, he goes for the flask, but he stops himself mid-motion. Look, the way I see it, we ain't got a choice. As much as I want to help Sana, she's clearly a few bats short of a belfry. People are gonna... It's getting southern again. Belfry. People are gonna die unless we do something about it. I still don't like it. I'll tag along if you need me, but for the record, I really don't want to. Me neither, kid. But if there's one thing life has taught me, you don't always get what you want. Noticeably proud of his words of wisdom, he tries to top him off with one last swig. A single drop falls between his crooked teeth. He looks at the empty flask with the utmost contempt. Well, ain't that fucking poignant? Muttering a curse under his breath, he makes a valiant effort to get up off the bench. As he staggers, struggling to remain upright, you offer your shoulder to lean on. Yikes. Yikes are Rooney. He shoots you a smile that's as crooked as it is affectionate. Hey, kid. You meet his gaze, trying to look friendly rather than condescending. You're all right. And with that heartfelt moment, you bid adieu, 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 to the sprawling vista, to the sprawling vista, and make your way towards the bridge. Next stop, Manhattan. Entering the park from Midtown Manhattan, you promptly take a spot by one of the valleys, not very deep into the park. Mids pass, 5, 10, 15. You start to wonder if she's even going to show up. Suddenly you hear a familiar voice, with an unfamiliar tone. She sounds almost nice. What voice was I doing for her again? Hello, Ginny. And there she is, walking along the side of the fountain. She looks less out of place here than back at that junkie-infested hovel, but only by a slight margin. Something tells you there are only so many places she would feel at home, and probably not ones you would want to find yourself in. Val? She glances over at you, barely noting your presence. Sorry about last time. Nothing personal, you understand. When I get caught up in the moment, I can get a bit intense. I guess I'm going for, like, mean girl with her. I can attest to that. Let's get down to business. Play nice, you two. We have some business to discuss. All work and no play, huh? Okay, that's getting a bit Valley girl. All work and no play, huh? Why not? She turns to D'Angelo and flutters her eyelashes. You can tell she doesn't see you as her equal, but this come-hither routine is getting kind of unnerving. Lay it on me, sugar. We're here to talk about Sana. Who? Oh, right, the thin blood. What about her? The girl's a threat. We need to find her. Figured we can do it faster if we work together. Uh-huh. Keep going, honey, because I have a feeling there's a catch coming. The catch is... Awkward silence. So often you see him at a loss for words. Seeing him struggle, you decide to jump in. Don't be a murderous bitch. We want her alive. We want the girl to stay alive. See, now that's a deal breaker right there, sugar. If you want me to even consider it, you'll have to sweeten the pot. Once again, she turns to D'Angelo. I bet tall, dark, and handsome over there might have some ideas. I don't like where this is going. You want a cookie? Just tell us what you want. Just tell us what you want. Oh, you're no fun anymore. She wants a higher profile target to show off to the prince what a good little scourge she is. That all you care about nowadays, huh? Playing the game, climbing the ranks. A smile creeps onto her lips. You can tell it's forced. D'Angelo definitely knows how to get under her skin. That's my Ginny. A big old brain and a heart to match. Once again, she turns to you. I knew right away he tried to help this girl. He does love him, a damsel in distress. But you... I'm still not sure what your angle is. It's the right thing to do. I don't have an angle. It just seems like the right thing to do. Oh, wow. Seriously? Ginny, you got yourself a live one. Good for you. So there, you know my terms. Contact me when you've made up your mind. Don't take too long, though. I'm a lucky girl. I might just find your little thin blood on my own. Still, I hope we can work together. We did make a good team back in the day, didn't we? Slowly, seductively, she puts her arms around his shoulders. She glances over to you, clearly enjoying how awkward it makes you feel. Okay, now it's just getting creepy. Can we get back to you wanting to rip my head off? Because that was actually way less uncomfortable. Careful what you wish for. Anyway, withdrawing from the strange half-embrace, she flicks D'Angelo's nose gently with her index finger. Almost instantly, she turns from flirtatious to dispassionate. However this plays out, I have a feeling we'll meet again, sooner than later. Until then, without sparing you another glance, she disappears down an unlit park alley. D'Angelo watches her go. The look on his face, a mixture of longing and guilt, is borderline comical. Finally, he turns back to you as if breaking some spell he was under. Well, that could have gone a lot worse. Can you explain to me what just happened here? She wants me to give her Larson. Why would she... Larson, why would she want him? He's a primogen, remember? A weak one, but still, for a scourge, he's a much more valuable target than some no-name Duskborn. And it just so happens that a certain someone might have some dirt on him. He squints, rubbing the bridge of his nose. Fuck it. I'm heading back to the office. Need to put my feet up, get some blood flowing to the old noggin. You coming? You nod. Why the hell not? And so you make your way towards 5th Avenue. You've got a long way ahead of you, and a lot of stuff to work out. Although it's not your first visit, you still find it hard to navigate the dark, rust-ridden corners of the grain terminal. Luckily this time you're with someone who could probably do this blindfolded, so you follow his lead. As you're both climbing the rickety stairs leading to the mezzanine, you suddenly notice light coming from D'Angelo's office. A quick look assures you that no, he did not in fact leave it on. You bust through the door like undead Tango and Hooch, or was that Turner and Cash? Wasn't it Turner and Hooch? So is it Cash and Tango? I don't fucking know. Whatever. Ready to unleash unholy fury on the intruders, you half expect an Anarch death squad or an SI hunting party. Instead, you get Larson, who nearly falls out of the chair when you two bust in. Well, look who it is. Missed us already? Hardly. Seemingly both intrigued and irritated by the surprise visit, D'Angelo walks over to a cabinet and pulls out a fresh cigar. Then may I ask, what brings you, oh venerable primogen, to my humble abode? Her. He points at a tiny shadow cowering in the corner of the room. To your astonishment, it turns out to be a very familiar face. Sana. The blood. No, not again, please. Where did you find her, or did she tell you anything? Where the hell did you find her? Outside my front door. She must have heard of me, found out where I lived. It's not uncommon knowledge among the Dustborn. She probably figured I could help, but honestly, I have no idea what to do for her. I mean, I should just turn her into the prince, but that's just another strike against my people. Then again, I can't just set her loose, not after what she did. Fuck D'Angelo, you can tell that I'm desperate if my first instinct was to come to you. No, Larson, I would attribute that decision to what's left of your common sense. He leans over to you. Hey kid, I think we should call it a night. Just give me some time to talk to the girl. Maybe I'll get through to her somehow. The sign, it's always there. Though, I ain't holding my breath. Honestly, you're glad to leave him to it. Spending the night in a small room with a tiny serial killer somehow doesn't seem too appealing. Still, you're hoping D'Angelo will be alright. He's got some tough choices ahead of him. I think my mouse just died. Fucking hell. Alright, I think that's it for tonight. So, I just need to finish off Hope's, which only has one more night, and then I think we're good. She's a part of my coterie. And I guess D'Angelo's probably has one more after this as well. Hopefully we won't run out of time. I don't think we have time to do this, because depending on how long this is going to take, this is Faith and Myth Part 1. We only have, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 nights left. Yeah, we can't do anything else tonight, so we need to rest.